The Crooked Anchor, Season 3, Episode 9, From Russia with Disappointment. Another day at the pub. It's a quiet, drizzly morning in Lower Taddlecombe. The usual hum of kettle whistles and distant farmyard arguments lingers in the air. The peace is shattered as the basement hatch bursts open, and Raymond pops up like a startled meerkat, crumbs stuck in his beard and excitement radiating from his eyebrows. "Guys, you're going to want to hear this!" he shouts, half a donut still welded to his chin. Brian, mid-sip of tea, mutters, "Oh God," without looking up from his newspaper. Pete stares into his pint, eyes widening as though he's seen the face of the divine in the froth. "What's the big news, Uncle Ray?" says David, pleasantly polishing the same pint glass he's been polishing for 14 years. "I've been on the local news sites. On my new computer, by the way. $6.99 from a car boot in Plymouth. Very fancy. But listen to this. James Bond, Daniel Craig himself, is moving to Lower Bloody Taddlecombe at the end of the week." Brian's newspaper drops like it's been shot. "You're joking." "Nope, not joking. Bond is coming." Raymond beams, chest puffed with pride. Brian stands up as if powered by sheer fandom. "Right, I'm getting my three-piece suit. I'm bringing my full Bond collection, even Quantum of Solace. We're binging the lot." And with that, he storms out like a man on a mission. David blinks. I've never seen Brian so chipper. He must be a big fan. Raymond nods proudly and disappears back down the hatch. The faint hum of dial-up internet and very loud typing begins almost instantly. In the kitchen, Clifford and Warren have overheard everything and are already furiously cobbling together a mystery Bond-themed menu: Goldfinger goujons, Skyfall apart shepherd's pie, and something involving custard and gherkins they refuse to explain. Over the following days, the gang binge every Bond film. Brian narrates trivia louder than the TV. Pete drinks a martini every time someone says 007. Gunther starts growling every time Blofeld appears. The big day. The gang gather down at the dock. Every single one of them is dressed like a different version of James Bond. David in a powder blue tuxedo. Pete in a knitted black balaclava and flip-flops. Clifford's wearing a tuxedo apron. Warren's holding a fake briefcase full of Scotch eggs. Biggins is perched on Brian's shoulder, wearing a tiny eye patch and muttering something about MI6. Even Gunther is in a bow tie and bowler hat, looking violently confused. They hold a huge, hand-painted banner. "Hello, Mr. Bend, we've been expecting you." Typo courtesy of Raymond. The boat arrives. The crowd murmurs in anticipation. A man steps off the gangplank, suitcase in hand, looking very normal. Slightly sunburnt, and not remotely Daniel Craig. Brian squints. "Wait a bloody minute, who's that?" Pete pulls a pint glass from his sleeve. "Pete, you should be a magician," says David, eyes locked on the stranger. Raymond runs up, beaming. "Mr. Bond, it's an honor. My friend Brian is your biggest fan." The man looks baffled. "Sorry." "What?" Brian whispers through clenched teeth. "Ray, that is not Daniel Craig." Raymond grips the man's hand tighter. "Of course it is. I'm Daniel Craig. I live here. I've just been on holiday. Who are all you people?" "So you're not James Bond?" Raymond asks. "No, I'm an accountant from up the hill." "Then why are all these people here to see you?" "They're not. They were passengers on the ferry." Raymond's eyes narrow. Right. The gang deflate like cheap paddling pools. They turn in silence and walk back to the pub in full tuxedos. Biggins breaks the silence with a croaky, dramatic squawk. "From Russia with Disappointment." Back at the bar, Brian confronts Raymond. "Ray, where the bloody hell did you get this Bond news?" Raymond opens up his battered laptop, screen flickering. "Right here. Look, it says Daniel Craig. Oh." Brian's stare could melt steel. Raymond shrinks a little, sheepish. "My bad." Brian sighs, picks up his crossword and mutters, "Fair enough." He returns to 4 down. Misinformed fool, 7 letters. Raymond's typing resumes downstairs. Clifford and Warren serve a dessert called Live and Let Pie. Pete starts explaining Casino Royale again to no one. David sighs and turns the telly back on. And all is once again almost normal at the Crooked Anchor.